are saying that the correction of the approval of records of votes, proceedings, sittings. So if you look at the order, our previous papers is different. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Which previous ones are you making reference to? Even the one on June 16 is the same, and the previous one, they wrote the same. So at least let it be consistency. Honorable members, the final decision is yours. What the table office is advising is that they came to this method for some time now. There may be 1 or 2 omissions. But what is important is that decision has to be taken by the plenary. And also put into consideration, is the current format right or wrong? If it is not to your taste, then we can change it. What are your, yes, honorable member for Jara Central.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, this is a new development from the table office. And by going through it, you can know that it has not changed the idea of what used to be prevailing. So to me, it is okay. Yes, it's all right.
Yeah, you know, when the original question I gave, I think you people said we leave it as it was. It was after that that the honorable member for Basse came out with this suggestion. Are you still maintaining what it is now here, honorable members? Honorable Speaker, let's continue. We are okay with it. Page 2. Honorable nominated member, Maimuna Sise.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Page 2, number 2, order 51, matter of the day. Matter of the day, the urgent precision of the pre-farming presentation to support Gambian farmers ahead of the implementation.
We are on page 2. That's the list of attendees present.
Okay, 2, okay, sorry. All right.
Attendance list.
Sorry about that.
Any comments on the attendance list? All right, honorable members, we now move to page 3. Honorable Maimun, I think that's where you have your comments. Page 4.
4, yeah.
Okay. Any more on page 3? Page 3. Jara Central, then Tumanda.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much once again. On page 3, after motion without notice, number 1, paragraph number 1, below that you have section put and agreed to. Then the first line, the assembly unanimously agreed to committee. So it should be committee. The assembly unanimously agreed to commit the bill to the committee of the whole assembly. So we delete committee and replace it with committee.
And the committee should be commit.
Yes, and wherever it appears, because it also appears on page 4. It also appears on page 4.
And wherever it appears.
Yes.
All right. Honorable members, you've seen the correction, proposed correction. Yeah, on page 3, number 1, on the motions without notice, number 1. You then go below. Before number 2, you have question put and agreed to. The assembly unanimously agreed, instead of to committee, but to commit the bill to the committee of the whole assembly. Thank you, honorable member for Jara Central. Honorable member for Tumanda.
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. On page 3, number 1, just to draw our attention to the just rectification that we have just done, it still appears here also. correction and approval of record of votes and proceedings. So we can scratch out the of the and put comma there as we agreed to. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Tumana, what are you suggesting?
No, what I'm suggesting is, you know, we've agreed that the comma for us to maintain comma on the first one.
What we agreed is that it is correct.
Yeah, it's correct.
It's correct.
Yeah,
One comma and then continues. This one is without comma and the off is there. It's
so
also correct.
we will adopt both of them, and wherever and however it happens, we take it like that.
Yeah. You know, you are pushing me into making a decision that belongs to you. But what I do
The reason why I'm saying this, the table office has just told you that this is the new system that we have adopted. I think this is what you have reported. Huh?
that is the
Yes.
but somebody made reference to the sitting of 16th of June.
Exactly.
And I mentioned it to him that 16th of June is not far off.
Yes.
He said it may fluctuate a little, but this is mainly what they do.
Yes.
And I reported back. Now, what is critical here is, it's not to be the same language style, but is it correct? And no, I believe it's correct. The best one.
I believe it's correct.
It's correct.
Both comma is correct, and this one also is correct.
Then I think that uniformity you may. It depends on who is writing it and who is doing it.
Okay, that's fine.
You know?
That's fine. That's what I also want to draw the attention of the panel, the assembly.
Okay. Yes, on Clear West.
Honorable Speaker, the previous format is very correct. And if it is correct, I don't think there's need to change. The records of votes and proceedings of the sitting of Tuesday, 23rd June 2026, it's very correct. And there's nothing wrong with it. And if it is correct, we may not need to change.
Thank you very much. And I think we have now agreed that both are correct and any could be used. All right. We are on page 3, am I right? We now move to page 4. Honorable nominated member, Maimuna.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. On page 4, number 2, order 51, the matter of the day. The urgent precision of pre-farming preparation to support Gambian farmers ahead of the impending rain season. The Honorable Member, Honorable Yaya Mentensanya, brought the matter of the day. But during the proceedings, he decided to abandon the debate and he walked away. I think for the record purpose, we need to capture that portion that he abandoned the matter of the day in the middle of the debate and he walked away, and it's not allotted to only 2 members. Intended to be captured.
Honorable, I think yes. Let me before I respond. Yes, Honorable member.
Yes, Honorable Speaker, you know, this House of Parliament is a house of records for reference. What has happened at the floor of the House. This is why I went to search on my agenda on Tuesday, because if you check the records, sorry, on Wednesday, means those people who took the floor is only 2 of them, and the other time was 30 minutes. But the reason why these 2 of members took the debate, there was an issue. So the debate can proceed. I think the best thing, because it's a house of record, whereby what has happened at the floor of the House should be captured for reference. And there was a motion also. But in this regard, only 2 of the members who took the floor and the 30 minutes finished. And there are series of motions and point of orders. What do we expect from the table office? What has happened where the member disregard his matter of the day should be captured? Thank you very much.
Honorable member for Honorable Speaker, Honorable Woolley East.
Honorable Speaker, we've already set a precedent that we don't put those details in the record of votes, so we should not start it with this one. Thank you.
Honorable member for Sane.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, henceforth, if we are going to put this in there, I think anything that happened in this House should be mentioned in the report, because it has never happened.
Yeah, honorable members. Honorable members. Yes, those things happened, but as was mentioned, is it honorable member for Banjul South? You want to say something? Okay. Banjul South, go ahead.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, what happened that day was very peculiar in this assembly, because you cannot bring a motion, a matter of the day, and not sit to witness it being debated or decided upon. And I think it needs to be reflected. Whatever happened on that day is very important. It has never happened before, and I think it has to be.
Honorable members, I think we have to give it an end. What's happening is the record of votes and proceedings is just one. It's a summarized one. But if you go to the Hansard, even if when the pen drops, it is noted down. Even as you talk, you cough, they say you coughed. So just hold on. If we want to come down to put down all those nitty-gritties, a lot of things, abnormal things do happen, but we don't mention them. They can only be, you can only get them from the Hansard for these things. So let's not create a precedent for what has happened. Upper Saloon.
Honorable Speaker, yes, I think for the records, normally we don't capture everything 100%. However, something very peculiar actually happened with this motion. The motion was moved, but later on somebody also moved another motion to withdraw that for a reason. I think the second motion, that was understand.
The motion was moved.
Honorable Favor. Yes. No, but the Speaker. Yeah.
Honorable member for Upper Saloon.
Yes. So what I'm saying is, no wait. Another motion during the. Oh wait, you can listen, please.
Yes. Honorable members, please, when somebody takes the floor, allow the person to say what he or she wants to say.
Yes.
Don't stop people.
Yes.
Honorable member for Upper Saloon. So what I'm saying is, don't listen to gossips or comments from aside. Please talk to the speaker.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that the matter of the motion was moved. I know, previously we don't capture every single thing that happened, which is fine. But when this motion was moved also, another attempt was also made by Honorable for Sanjay. Yes, to move another motion which failed. So the failure of particular motion, yes. Yes, Ali.
First motion was moved and seconded.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes. That's the one for
And then a second motion was moved. Please. A second motion was moved.
Yes.
What detailed that second motion?
It was rejected.
It was rejected.
Exactly.
And then you continued with the first motion.
I didn't hear you. You said what?
You continued with the first motion.
Exactly, yes.
So what do you want us to record?
Yes. If the second motion that was moved and rejected by the speaker.
Yeah, the second motion was moved
And rejected by the speaker. Exactly.
Honorable member for Central Badu.
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I think when a matter of the day is allowed by the office of the clerk until the person comes and read it, the office of the Speaker allows it and it passes through everything. You allow the person to bring it to the attention of the National Assembly members. Until we start debate on it, that matter of the day is no more the mover. It belongs to the Parliament. Now, the Speaker allows members to debate on it. While the debate was going on, the person who brought the bill, feel that he's not comfortable in the House. He might have. Do you understand? An honorable member of Sabah Sanjali put up a motion on the 53K. He came with that. The Speaker did not allow it. So it was not a motion. It was not admissible. The Speaker did not allow it. So the Speaker asked us to continue. But the time was not on our side until we were agreeing until the time elapsed. So I think what you said, the detail of the what happened on that day is with hindsight. And honorable member of Banjul South, how many times we have been walking out of this parliament when business are taking place? So it's parliamentary. It's parliamentary. The members to go.
Address the Speaker and not address me. If he has something that is cutting this out, that is not my problem.
Honorable member for Banjul South. Honorable member for Banjul South. Honorable member for Banjul South, I think you are right. You should not address her. You should address the Speaker. Honorable, yeah, thank you very much. Honorable members, I tried to get the details of the transactions that happened on that particular day. And it looks like, plenary has the final decision. Always. Plenary, even if you go through the process, from the Speaker to the clerk and all these things, it comes to the plenary. The plenary can take decisions this way or that way. So that decision probably, I understand, was that the issue was the mover of the matter of the day finally went out. I think that's the argument. Yeah, that was not very respectful to Parliament. What should have happened is if you brought a matter to Parliament and then you brought it to the table, You should be there to listen and defend that motion. It is not going to be a normal practice that you can just bring something, because sometimes when it comes back to, when you bring something more serious that you think, Parliament can also give it a deaf ear and say no. So we should be able to respect the institution, despite you may bring something that people don't like, you may bring something that people like. That is not you, that's your belief. But at the end of the day, it's the belief of the presenter. He thinks it's of great importance to the country. It passed through the process, and we believe that he, as a parliamentarian, he has a right to that. Now it will be left to plenary to decide whether it is relevant, whether it is true or it is not relevant. So during that process, the mover must stay in the parliament to listen. That is what ordinarily should happen. But if we begin to record if this is one particular peculiar thing, if we start recording it, we will also record a lot of other peculiar things similar to it. So some of these things, if we want to get records of them, we make reference to the answer. You will get all the details you need. So even if we do this, look, the whole sitting is how many pages? 4 or 5 pages. And the bulk of it is list of names. So you don't have all what you need. Even the details of what was said are not in the document. So what I want to urge everybody is, we can reprimand as a plenary somebody for his behavior. But I think if we begin to go into the nitty-gritties of individual MPs' right, then we'll be recording a lot of things on our records. So I want to feel that as bad as it may be, let's avoid creating precedents that we may not want to continue. Please. We are moving to page 5. Honorable Member for Janjanbureh.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I just want to bring a concern before you with regards to question and answers number 8. Number 8, question number 069-2026, Honorable Member for Janjanbureh. The member was directed to redirect the question to the appropriate ministry. Honorable Speaker, this has been my experience, and I recall vividly that you made a ruling with regards to questions that are administered by table office to the ministries, and there was a time that you made a ruling as much as questions are admissible at the level of the table office and the office of the speaker, it wouldn't be fair for ministers not to provide answers, but instead to refer questions to concerned ministries. So basically, I just want to remind you on a ruling you made that in a situation where a question that is been sent to a particular ministry and the specific ministry thought that the question is not meant for them or meant for that specific ministry, instead of asking members to redirect the question to another ministry, you rule that the matter should be referred back to the office of the table office for possible actions. But I'm not seeing that happen.
Honorable Member for Janyambure, I can vividly remember what the decision taken by the Speaker at the time pertaining to this particular issue. And I think anytime Table Office sent these questions to ministries, they quote that that paragraph, that decision made by the Speaker. Now, in this particular case, you know, it will be difficult now because this should have been addressed at the time the minister was responding to a question. Like if the minister is now saying, when the question was posed, and he said, for instance, now this is not within our purview, it should be referred to the correct ministry. That's where it should be addressed, and that's where all sides should agree on something to say what should happen. But as of now, these are just minutes of what transpired. So I don't know whether we can do anything about it. But what we can say is that the office of the clerk must inform the relevant ministries that questions that they think does not pertain to them should not be held there only to respond to say that you can refer it to somebody. It must be sent back immediately, and then the office of the clerk will direct the question to the relevant ministry before the sitting. We have agreed on that, and I think those things we should make follow-ups on them. And I think the office of the clerk will still continue to remind the relevant ministries about this one. Yes, Honorable Janyambure.
Yes, Honorable Speaker, I quite agree with you that there is nothing much we can do about this specific issue. However, I want to understand that the communication that is sent by the table office, they would clearly state underneath that if a question is sent to you as a minister and you cannot provide an answer, you do the needful. So I don't know why is this other issue being ignored. That is just my point. And in addition, there was a ruling made by the Speaker on that day. So for me, what is being captured here, for me, I don't see it as something accurate.
What happened, Honorable? That should have been addressed when the minister made that response. Yeah, at the time, the minister must have been on the floor, and then this response to this particular question will be, it is not within their purview, let it be referred to this thing. That's where people should interject to say that, why should you hold that question with you until this time? Because we have already made a ruling that any question that does not pertain to a ministry should be sent back to the office of the clerk for redirection to the relevant ministry. So it cannot, what I'm saying is, it's not good, but it's not the right time for us to be able to address it. Because
Short one. No, just wait. I have a point. My point is, what the document entailed was not actually what was ruled by the Speaker on that very day. What is being put here is what the minister responded. Because the minister responded that I should redirect the question. However, when I challenge it, the Speaker, that is Honorable Njai, he made a ruling. So I expect that ruling to appear here. That's my point.
saying is, when the question was answered by the Honorable Minister at the time, you challenged the response. And then, based on your challenge, the Speaker made a ruling. What you now claim is that that ruling should be reflected here, you mean? Is that your position? Okay, I'm beginning to understand what you are saying now. Yes, Honorable for Central Badibu.
Yes, Honorable Speaker, I think in addition to that, the table office, when questions are submitted to the table office, I think verification needs to be done. You know, for example, if they verify or they scrutinize and see that it's not the relevant ministry, they can inform the member concerned before it's sent to the ministries.
They do that. But also they may not know specifically for certain questions. It can be multiple ministries. You may think that it's education when actually it should be higher education. It can be this thing. There can be confusion. But when the ministry knows that that does not pertain to them, they should make sure they notify the table office immediately so that it is redirected to the correct institution for answers. Yes, yes, okay. So, on the table office, please take note. Take note of these things. It's not good enough for honorable members to ask questions, and their only response is, you send it to the relevant ministry. You know that it's not your question. Send it back and it could be redirected. Yes, honorable member for Assembly.
Yes, what I was just going to add with Sarah, I think the Assembly service can take another step because all the ministries are reachable. If we are able to determine whether this is for this particular ministry or that, I think we can call the permanent secretary or to find somebody at the ministry, because this is becoming really common now. But I think we can take another step in the parliament where we can consult with the permanent secretary, deputy permanent secretary, or director, and they tell, yeah, this is one is for this particular ministry, and we do that. I think once we are able to do that within the parliament here, I think the issue will be resolved.
Yes, I think let's not bog we have a lot of work for our staff. Let's not bog them. If a question is sent to Ministry A and you know it's not a question, send it back. Simple. But if you want to allow them also to be consulting the ministry for some of these things, it becomes another chaotic issue. Please, yes, honorable member for Lower Salon.
Honorable Speaker, I cannot agree more with the submission of the members. One, each member who wants to write a parliamentary question, you should know where to send the parliamentary question. Honorable Speaker, whatever deals with finance, you know where it's supposed to go. But no way, because you intend your questions, because you have your facts. You have your facts. You know where to direct your question to, Honorable Speaker. Yes, I think members themselves need to understand where the question is going. No.
I think, you know, I don't want to blame members too much. Members may assume that that particular question is meant for that particular ministry, when in reality, in the terms of reference of their portfolios, that does not belong to them. So what we are saying is very short, very simple. It is sent to Ministry A. You look at it and you know it is not yours. Send it back to us. Because you may believe that that particular question is for this particular ministry, when actually that portfolio is another ministry. I think let's not be labeled over this. We have taken a decision on this, and I think let's continue to work on that. Honorable member for Willis.
Yes, thank you. I just want to say that order. I just want to say that sometimes a question can even be sent to a particular ministry.
I will shout your consequences, exactly, so that your people will know how you are behaving.
Exactly.
Please. Yes?
Well, I'm saying sometimes a question can be sent to a particular ministry, and that ministry may not be comfortable in answering it, and they can even say it is not for us, it's for another ministry. That's why the member and the table office should work on it to ensure that they send it to the right ministry. They agree that this belongs to that ministry. Because if the ministry say, I'm not the one responsible, and he is responsible, what are we going to do? You take it to the other person, they say, also it's not for us, it's the other one.
If you mislead Parliament, that's a different thing. If you deliberately mislead Parliament, we ask you a question, then they'll probe you, because it is so challenging, you decide to misinform us, that's another thing. Please, can we proceed? Yes, honorable member for Bikama South. Okay. So, honorable members, honorable members, it has been moved and seconded that the record of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sitting of Wednesday, 24 June 2026 be approved with amendments. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. Clerk, may you proceed?
Thank you. Bill, Standing Order 67, second reading of the Urban Markets Bill 2026 by the Honorable Musa Cham, member for Serekunda.
Thank you. Honorable members, you recall that the first reading of the Urban Markets Bill 2026 was done on Monday, 8 June 2026, and today is appointed for the second reading in accordance with Standing Order 66-2 and 57. Therefore, pursuant to Order 67 of the Standing Orders, I now invite the Honorable Member for Serekunda to move a motion for the second reading of the bill entitled Urban Markets Bill 2026. Honorable Member.
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to move that the bill entitled Urban Markets Bill be read a second time. The objects and reasons of the bill are to provide a legal framework for the establishment, administration, and regulation of urban markets in the Gambia, promote orderly, safe, and efficient market operations within urban communities, improve sanitation, hygiene, waste management, and public health standards in public markets, strengthen the role of local government councils in the planning, maintenance, and supervision of urban markets, provide adequate infrastructures and services necessary for the effective function of markets, including water, lighting, security, and sanitation facilities, encourage participatory governance by involving traders, councils, and relevant stakeholders in market management, and promote economic activity and support livelihood by creating access and organized trading space for market vendors and traders. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I move.
Thank you, Honorable Member for Serekunda. Honorable Members, any seconder? Honorable Member for Central Badibu.
Honorable Speaker, I rise to second the motion and I want to participate in the debate. Honorable Speaker, the object and the reason of the bill is very self-explanatory and is timely because it's going to provide a legal framework for establishment, administration, regulation of urban markets in the Gambia. Honorable Speaker, I think when we come down to the committee stage, we have to look into the bill so that the bill will be inclusive. It's not going to leave any Gambian market behind. Both the local and both the rural and the urban areas, they have the same problem. Do you understand? And I think what is good for the goose is good for the gander. So the bill is a very important bill, and we want it to be a bill that is going to be very inclusive, to touch Sareboyo, Terapate, and even in Jimara. Sareboyo is in Jimara, and Sandu also. So, Honorable Speaker, without wasting more time of the House, I dare to give my support to the bill. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Central Badibu. Honorable Members, in accordance with Order 67-1 of the Standing Orders, I will now open the floor for debate on the general merits and principles of the bill. Debate on the general merits and and principles of the bill. I have a list of honorable members who wish to partake in the debate. I now call on the honorable...
Honorable Speaker.
Honorable... Who is shouting?
Motion.
Huh?
For you, Councillor. Motion. 53K.
No.
See.
How can you... 53K?
C. Motion on 53C. Honorable Speaker, with your permission.
Make sure you are sure of the references, please. It's 53C. Member for Fonyi Councillor, may we hear your motion?
Yes, Honorable Speaker, I am rising on 53C, a motion for the adjournment of debate. As the member for Central Badibu has alluded, this is a straightforward bill. I hereby move a motion for it to be committed to ABC and committal to either the committee of the whole house or an appropriate committee. And we suspend the debate for now. Thank you very much.
Honorable members, you've heard the motion. Any seconder? Honorable Central Badibu. Jaya Central.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to second the motion.
Honorable members, it has been moved and seconded that we suspend the debate on this. We adjourn the debate on this bill and refer to the relevant committee or to the committee of the whole house. Though it goes to the ABC. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. Honorable members, so may I now invite the mover of the bill to round it up. You've heard what members have said. You're going to thank them or do anything. Honorable member for Serekunda.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. And there was only one issue raised by the member for Central Badibu, and it is noted. And we are ready to do the needful amendment. And we thank all other members for appreciating the bill. So on that note, Honorable Speaker, I submit.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Serekunda, the author of the bill. Honorable members, it has been moved and seconded that the bill entitled the Urban Markets Bill 2026 be read a second time. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. So the bill is now accordingly referred to the ABC committee. Clerk.
Thank you. Urban Markets Bill 2026 is hereby deemed to have been read a second time.
Honorable members, in accordance with Order 68, one of the standing orders, the bill is hereby referred to the Assembly Business Committee for committal to either a committee or a committee of the whole Assembly. Thank you very much, honorable members. Clerk, we may proceed.
Thank you. Order 73, consideration stage of the Labor Amendment Bill 2026 by the Honorable Minister for Trade, Industry and Regional Integration and Employment.
Honorable members, let me on your behalf acknowledge the presence of the Honorable Minister for Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment, and the Honorable Minister for Interior. You are most welcome in our midst. Honorable members, you will recall that after the second reading stage, the bill automatically stood referred to the ABC. Therefore, the bill is appointed today for the consideration stage in accordance with Order 73. During the consideration stage, members shall have the opportunity to give detailed consideration and scrutiny to every clause and schedule in the bill. This stage also provides the first opportunity for amendments to the bill to be debated and voted on. I will therefore now resolve the committee into the Committee of the Whole Assembly to give consideration to the bill, that is the Labor Amendment Bill 2026. The Assembly now resolves into the Committee of the Whole Assembly. Honorable members, The Assembly will now go into the Committee of the Whole Assembly to consider the Labour Amendment Bill 2026, clause by clause. Will be guided by Order 73 of the Standing Orders during the consideration stage. Clerk, can we proceed?
Clause 1, citation.
It is proposed that clause 1, citation, stand part of the bill. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it.
Clause 2, amendment of the Labour Act 2023.
It is proposed that clause 2, amendment of the Labour Act 2023, stand part of the bill. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it.
Chair.
Yes.
Chair, is it 2026 or 2023? Okay.
Honorable member for Kantora, what is, sorry. For the councillor. For the councillor, what is the problem? Yeah. Go ahead.
Clause 3, insertion of a new section 24A.
It is proposed. If you have, where is the committee itself? There was no committee on this. All right. So, no. Was you refer to this thing? No. So, honorable members, when the clerk announces the clause, before I come in, if you have any comments, you can call my attention. Please. If I have not seen you, please call my attention. It is proposed that clause 3, insertion of a new section. Okay. All right, let's have you.
Yes, Chair.
Yes, let's have Woolly East. Yes,
Chair.
Yes, it's just a clarification. Sorry, Woolly East, sorry. We have Woolly East to be followed by Central Badibu and then followed by Kiang West. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you very much. It's clause 24A, the new clause. A country that does not have bilateral relations, labor relations with us. That's the one we are dealing with. We are saying upon application by a licensed employment agency. 24A, 24A2 of the bill. 24A1.
Yes. Notwithstanding, you mean?
Notwithstanding section 24(1)(b), yes, the minister may grant a license to permit the deployment of a worker to a country with which the Gambia does not have a bilateral labor agreement. Upon application by a licensed employment agency and subject to such conditions as the minister may determine. So I'm saying the question I have is, this is only referring to when the agency, employment agency, applies. But now you went to the next one, you also say, notwithstanding, you can still do that even if there is no application from any employment agency. That's not what you are saying.
Seems to deploy a worker to non-bilateral labor jurisdictions is the heading. And now we said notwithstanding 24(1). 24(1)(b). A1. No, yes, what I'm saying is now A1, read it. Notwithstanding section 24(1)(b). Where is section 24(1)(b)?
A1. The 1B
Honorable, the purpose of the amendment, yes, is stated that the Principal Act is amended by inserting a new section 24A. No, that is just by inserting a new section 24A. And that new section 24A is the one that talks about ministerial license to deploy a worker to non-bilateral labor jurisdictions. That's the insertion they are proposing to make. Now that insertion is here, that's what is detailed down. Now what is your question on that insertion? Is application. My question is only when they receive application. But if they don't receive application, then they will not be able to deploy a worker. That's what I'm saying. Is that what they are saying? Minister?
I think the member interpretation is correct. In this case, we receive application and then it is reviewed, and whether a license to be granted or not will be determined.
What about when there is no application?
When there is no application, this doesn't apply.
There is no application. You've heard it? All right, honorable member for Central Bank.
Honorable Speaker, as you said, you have 21B. So the minister may grant a license to permit the deployment of a worker to a country with which the Gambia does not have a bilateral labor agreement upon application by a licensed employment agency. So why the minister here? Because my fear is if it is only the minister, it could be abused. So is it that the minister has an authority that is going to look at this, or the minister has the blanket license to accept or not? I'm asking.
Still, a portfolio is trust. Just like why you and I are members of parliament and we take decisions, sometimes that can be abused. That's the trust given to them. If they abuse, they are regulatory things, but you cannot have an authority over that to make those determinations.
Okay, can I come further? My fear now is, this migration labor, there are a lot of issues embedded. For the minister alone to make a decision here, do you understand? So the issue of May, so I'm not comfortable with it. What if there is a body that should do the vetting?
Actually, is the minister is the head of the institution. He has his advisors, his technical arm, and all these things to utilize to make informed decisions. If those decisions are abused, that's why we have the oversight and all other functions on. But every portfolio you create is based on trust that you put people in. Otherwise, then nobody will go independent. Even us, we will have our own board, commission or boards to oversee what we are doing. No, but it's the trust. If it is abused, the people will remove us. If the minister also abuses these things, Parliament will also come in to say you have abused your office, and the necessary or the executive will do that. But that trust has to be there. You cannot have those things. Immediately I appoint you as a minister, that trust has to be there. Otherwise, I remove you. Yes, no, honorable member for, no, let's hear him. You are all on the same issue. Honorable member for Kia West.
Yes, Honorable Speaker, I want the clarification from the minister, because it says they may grant license to permit the deployment of workers to countries with which Gambia does not have bilateral labor agreements with. This could be a little bit risky to me, and the minister may clarify, because states deals with states. When anything goes through, when we are granting people a permit, to take people from the Gambia to other jurisdictions for labor workers, it is important that we deal with that state directly with respect to labor matters. But any countries that we don't have labor bilateral agreements with, we send our people there. When something goes wrong, whom does the state contact? Because I want to believe that the state deals with the state and they can filter it down. But if you grant license to people to transport our people as workers in jurisdictions where we don't have bilateral labor agreements with, that is a little bit risky, but you may clarify as to how you are going to pursue and how you will deal with those licensees, who may behold a company today and tomorrow they don't hold it. But the state still stays. You can fall back on those particular states and clarify why those issues happen.
Madam Speaker, thank you. And thank also the member for the concern and the question. Actually, the amendment seeks to address the member concern entirely. For the fact that in a good number of jurisdictions, we have bilateral labor agreements. In a good number of ones, we don't have bilateral labor agreements. So, and yet we have Gambian workers working there without any protection. So we are saying in the absence of an agreement, at least let's have a licensing regime that also provide or extend similar protection to the Gambian workers working on those jurisdictions. Currently, where we don't have the agreement covered. So the introduction of the licensing regime in those places, which will compel the labor employment agencies to protect Gambian workers in those jurisdictions. Actually, that's what we are trying to address here. In its absence, currently we still having Gambian working there without any protection, and nobody is held responsible. So this is what we are trying to address.
Thank you. Chair, thank you. Chair, my concern is about the wording. The word license here is spelled as L-I-C-E-N-S-E. Should it not be L-I-C-E-N-C-E? If you may help me, the drafters. I don't know how do you spell it with the original act. This other one is a noun, the other one is a verb. Don't say they are the same. Check your English well. See. Huh? Honorable Member for Sabak, the Honorable Minister is saying they are almost all the same. But we should also be consistent. If it is American and British, we are not using American English, we are using British English. So it should be L-I-C-E-N-C-E. CE is the license. What I'm being told is, if you look at the principal act that we seek to amend, it's SA which is there. That's why they are using it. And that principal act was enacted by Parliament itself. So we are fine. No, let me go back to him. He wanted to say something on the response.
Yes, and then on Minister's response. Okay, Honourable Minister, then the purpose of this amendment is to protect our migrant workers in countries where we don't have labor bilateral agreements with. However, how do you engage those, licensees whenever those abuse happen, whenever those complaints come to you? And how do you engage them through issue? Because I want to believe that this is a state, issue now. So how do you engage those institutions who may not directly be dealing with their state?
Remember, I think we are better off with a licensing arrangement than without, in the context that at least we have somebody that we can hold to account in the event of abuse or other unexpected circumstances. And like I said, the authority, that's us, also have the opportunity to take on, if there are any abuses, hold somebody accountable and responsible. We can also withdraw the license, and we can also, based on the license, include certain responsibility of the license holder to provide protection and also safeguard for our Gambian workers. Currently, we don't have none of this. So it's a very progressive licensing or provisions, if I may put it that way.
Yes, Honorable Speaker, may I? For the purpose of legislative intent, so that for us who are also legislating this, we know the precautions and some of the things that you prepared to ensure that the bill is implementable in full. So this way I'm asking, how do you engage? Because we are states now, we are licensing people who are outside the jurisdiction of the Gambia. And in case of abuse happen, how do we get hold of them? How do we get to them? Accountability mechanisms should be there, but will you be able to do that? Because it's not state to state. What I mean is, if we are dealing with their states directly, we have labor agreements, we can contact their state, and there can be smooth road. But now you are saying we don't have a bilateral with them, but we can license people in that jurisdiction. That seems a little bit difficult.
Yeah, what I understand from him, Honorable Member, is already in those jurisdictions, we already have Gambians working who are not protected, whatever. Now, this application is supposed to be done by a licensing authority, somebody who is already licensed to be able to apply to them. And if they apply, the ministry looks at a lot of other things and does a lot of consultations, because if you look at the wording, it says by licensed employment agency and subject to such conditions as the minister may determine or are set out in the regulations. So they look at a lot of other things to make sure that how they can get that license responsible or accountable on those things, and what are the conditions, how was he licensed, what is binding between the licensing and that country. You look at a lot of other things to be able to make a determination. But the essence is to protect Gambian workers in jurisdictions which we have no bilateral labor agreements. Honorable nominated member.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I think to clear the doubt of the Honorable Member for Chiang West is that in West, there's no possibility for you to operate an agency without a legal licensing in that particular country. And should in case the situation like that happen, abuse or whatever, the Gambia authority can directly contact that authority, those authorities in that particular country, to give them their license number or their license operations. That thereby they will have a directive to go after those people who are abusing the migrants. I think there cannot be a maslaha in that one. That's my opinion on that.
List. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Chair, my problem is the last line in page 2. As the minister may determine or as set out. When the meeting law, I think the regulations should be first before the minister comes. The way we write it, I don't know if you see what. Yes, we should say as set out in the regulations, or then we'll say the minister determines. You know what determines should come last. You mean to replace it? Yes, to reverse the setting. Exactly. You know, there are times when regulations may not come. It will be by this thing. But what you are saying is, in chronological order, the regulations come before the minister's listing. All right? Huh?
I was suggesting, like Honorable Member of Woolley is proposing something. So let's consult the legal, the drafters.
If you look at sub 1, the last paragraph, does the minister may determine or are set out in the regulation made under the act. What they are saying is, as set out in the regulation comes before the minister may determine. That's the suggestion. Am I right? What is your suggestion? I saw you talking. I thought you never had me. Yes, Honorable Minister, you want to say something?
I think we are comfortable the way it is drafted at the moment to give you the flexibility, because the licensing regime or the licensing content will try to cover as much ground as possible. But you cannot have one size fit all. There are certain situations that will require some flexibility and some maybe new introduction by the minister for further safeguards.
Even it's almost the same. I challenge them on the basis of that. That is, you see, this may affect certain countries where you may need stronger regulations. It may be other countries where you don't even need regulations. It will be the interest of Gambian interest. So those discretionary these things are left with the minister. If on the basis of that, the minister feels that they need certain regulations to put in place to control some other things, they will do that. That's why the two are there. But the uppermost part is to protect the people there. It's not regulations that will do it, but the consent of the minister himself and his technical team. So until proven otherwise, I think we should let them have that. You see, all trust until proven otherwise. Yes, list.
Yes, no, I'm just simply saying, for example, if you have a regulation which says how it should be done, would you gloss over that and then allow the minister to determine in place of a regulation? Is that what you are saying?
That's not what I am saying. Regulations first, it means that discretionary look by the minister is put to secondary issue. And those regulations is not one size fits all. So what they are saying is, if during the operations they realize that there are certain regulations that must be put in place to make sure it captures all other concerns, they could do it. This is what they are saying. Yes, Honorable.
Yeah, I think this.
Sorry. I hope I understood you the same way. Huh? Okay.
Yeah, I think the issue of trust is not about we don't trust A or B, but I think the purpose of coming here for us to add our input and see it, to fine tune it. And in that vein, that's why Honorable Member is suggesting, because the regulation, you said it might not fit all. The minister, that's why he said the minister may use. Do you understand? So he's proposing that we have the regulation first. If the regulation where it fails in, minister can use the discretion. But let it be alone. We should not create that cavity. We should be clear in everything here.
Different views on this, because what I'm saying is, I'm not saying it's trust or mistrust. What I'm saying is, every responsible position holder is trusted until proven otherwise. You don't stimulate them in their operations so that it will have negativity. This is dealing with Gambians outside. So those that don't have that labor relations with us. And the intent from the ministry is to make sure that as much as possible, we try to protect those people under those jurisdictions. So it's not regulations that will suffice for that. So, but when it comes into play, when there is need for regulations that is fit all, they will propose one and then make it a regulation. But under the circumstances, if you bring out with regulations, it means, ordinarily speaking, even something is not good enough, and the regulation says otherwise, the minister cannot do anything about it. And the regulation is not human. It is not human. It has no basis of assessment. It's true. Yes, somebody here.
Yes, I think you are right. You see, this is something we need to understand is two things. The minister already has powers under the Patent Act to create a regulation for the effective implementation of the act, which is fine. Here, the minister is also signing a contract with an agency with the intent to protect the Gambians that are going there. The license that the minister is going to sign with that agency, with terms and conditions, those ones you cannot put in regulations. And that's where you give the minister the powers to be able to look at on case-by-case basis, depending on the country, depending on like their statute, whatever it is, to do that. That can be contained in a regulation. That is on a case-by-case basis, and that's going to be the terms and conditions of the license between those two parties. And in fact, the same terms and conditions of those, the agency, may not be even applicable with another agency. That's exactly what it's trying to do.
Yes, Honorable Chair, that is very important to have flexibility, but in as much as we want to have flexibility, there has to be, a control in minister certain way, that is applicable to any minister, so that we don't give a big leverage, because they are also human, so that they can, when they are doing that action, they can know that there is a limit beyond which I cannot go. And that has to be explicit in the legislation, because regulations are where all the things they intend to do, which we don't see in the bill, are embedded. So it is important we have some control, so that they may not go beyond the limit they're supposed to.
No, I think you listen to the member for Opasa. I think he effectively addressed your concern. The issue of trying to, me as minister, to regulate me can have negative impact on what we want to achieve. Because that regulation you have written does not look into any other thing. It says that and it's that. So what we are saying is, the bill here intends to empower the minister to protect those Gambians outside there based on their different conditions and style. And on the licenses they are operating with, the terms and conditions.
So what we say, in as much as we give him that leverage, he cannot also do whatever he feels like. That's why
he's made minister. He's made minister based on that trust. That he should be able to do that, just like you are made MP by the people of Kiamles, to be able to make certain decisions. You have no political safety. You totally say it's controlled by what? No, it is not controlled. He doesn't make those concessions on all the people.
He is controlled by standing order. He is controlled by the standing order.
Not what you say or what you talk about with these things. Otherwise, we will regulate, we will go to say what we are saying. And yes, do we have somebody else? Yes, Noah Salim.
Honorable Speaker, I think we are in the same wavelength, because the minister also is governed by the Constitution and the Code of Conduct of the minister. He can go extremely out of his powers. Whatever he does in that ministry, it is not as in the interest of Gambian people. Honorable Speaker. So whatever the minister does there, the Minister Speaker has to stop it. Honorable Speaker, the regulation that is going to be made by the minister is a safeguard framework of his work. Already, I know the minister will not do anything beyond his powers, because there are also laws that govern the minister where to stop. You understand? For instance, us, the laws that we are making here, we don't reach to each of our people in the constituencies. But we are doing this law. But what we are doing, just the interest of our people. Thank you. Let's be labor too much on this. I think we have almost exhausted it. The concerns of the others is that don't leave people so liberal that they can do whatever they like. So we are going to manage them. That is it's a good thing, but in situations like this, if you control, you go against what you want to achieve. Look, somebody, you may be dealing with somebody, a labor issue in, for instance, China or South Korea or North Korea. Those ones, you are going to look at it, not through those regulations. It cannot be the same as you are dealing with somebody in South Korea. So the various conditions offer, and the minister is appointed based on that trust that he should be able to do it. That's why you also have other regulations. Like you as a parliamentarian, you have that oversight on him to make sure that when he goes contrary to the public view, he is challenged and this thing. All those checks and balances are there. These regulations don't translate into something positive. Honorable Member for Willie East, can you please drop this one, please? We are wasting on this. Yes, please. Honorable Chair, we are making law. And we cannot make regulations and give more power to the minister above the regulation. For me, that's my major concern. So if we are going to make a regulation, the minister will look at all those scenarios and capture it in the regulation. Where it is not captured in the regulation, the minister now have the power to determine. But we cannot have a regulation and we say, the minister does not even have to look at the regulation, he can answer certain things. That's what we are saying. Oh? The minister makes the regulation. It's not us that make the regulation. So this is why the two are there. What the minister, when the minister feels that because of the different scenarios and situations, there is need for specific regulations to regulate all of them simultaneously at the same time, one size fits all, there will be regulations there. This what I'm saying is the purpose of the whole bill is abnormal. It's going beyond to see what is happening to our people and dealing with institutions that are licensed but not necessarily with the state. So you must know how to play with it. Regulations will not solve those problems. It is only after that time that some regulations may come into force that has looked at them. But here we are dealing with, they are going to do this for our people. If we feel that there is something happening, we call the minister to task. That itself is more than enough. Yes, honorable member for nominated member, Patu.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. For me, I just want us to make progress now. I think what the minister explained is loud and clear, and this is what we are always calling for as member of parliament. We are always saying that our members, our Gambians outside Gambia are not protected. Now, if they bring the policy, we are making reference to other issues. Like if we want to make policy over preference, we will stay here for the whole day. Because even if you tell them this, they will say add that. So I think it's better we pick a vote on this and make progress. The immigration bill is waiting for us, please.
Honorable member for Clear West.
Yes, I think that would be, my last intervention on this. For the purpose of regulating, what is more important is the reason why we need certain things for regulation is to ensure there is flexibility. Minister can fall back on regulation and make amendments without coming through the National Assembly. That is a big flexibility. So once that is available for the minister to do, anytime there is need to make amendment and change, minister can do that one without coming through this long procedure, coming to the National Assembly and making amendments. Rather than giving a leverage outside the act, outside the regulation. That is what we are trying to look at. We are now saying without the act, without the regulation, the minister may look at A, B, and C. So this is what we are complaining. He can go back to regulation and make amendments rather than using discretion.
What we are saying is, I think we don't make regulations. We don't oversee regulations. Whatever is in the regulations, you have no say. This is what you deny. No, honorable. You threw that out here. Then there was this proposal that regulations be brought to Parliament for you to oversee it. You said no. So what we are saying is, in the document itself, the minister can make regulations, and that those regulations will be determined by what he has seen, what the various factors are in play. Because you are dealing with different situations at different times, different countries, different licensing these things with their various regulations. So that those things will final on that. If we say that no, the minister must make regulations, it means that format is, for me, is that there is very much he can abuse it. And any position holder in the Gambia can abuse his position. All of us. Until then, you are seen to be a good person. So far, we have no recourse that we can lay our hands on to say that, oh, he's bad or that. We are here as an oversight institution. Let's wait for those times. Honorable member for official.
What I'm saying is, just to make progress, the minister cannot do anything outside the law. That's the act. That would be illegal. But we also need to understand that he's dealing with people outside this country. And on a case-by-case basis, you must give him the leeway. Well, the minister actually, let's say sometimes something very urgent that he has to do now. You're going to go draft a regulation, you go gazette it. I mean, how long will that take for that to be completed? I mean, I think we need to progress.
Parliament, honorable, I told you, we are all in the same shoes. Why do we have to vote? I think we should exhaust our dialogue. This is one partisan, not anything else. This is what we sincerely believe is good for our Gambian people. Okay, go ahead.
Honorable Speaker, in order to draw the curtain, I have a suggestion here. Now, since our issue is about the regulation or the minister may determine, now what I'm suggesting is, if we can coin it in this way, upon application by Lansing Employment Agency, and subject to such conditions as minister may determine, instead of saying minister may determine, why not we say as set out in the regulations under the act? Because the minister is at liberty to revisit the act at any time.
It seems as we are not following the logic of what the agreements are. No, because you are still insisting on that regulation. As, hey, human brain, a committed human brain is by far better than the regulation. I'm telling you, it's only when you decide to be fraudulent or to be bad that you are bad. No, this is the truth. This is not philosophy. This is the truth. You, as honorable member for Central Body, you are by far better than what the regulations are going to be. When they face you and you are honest to your conscience and to the people. Yes, until then, I mean, when your conscience is not affected and you have the will of the people, your determination is better. So don't assume that somebody is president.
We've already said the president, Chair, we've already said the president already. We have already said the president in Parliament here, this group. Yeah, in the GBA Act of 2002, I read it, the GBA Act of 2002, Parliament here, we said on number 10, section 10, members of the board and the committees of the board shall be paid such allowances as the minister may determine. What's it? Now you're giving minister to determine that.
Honorable members, sorry, honorable members, don't be impulsive. When somebody is expressing an opinion, you can differ with him, but respect him for that opinion. If you do, it's fine.
I'm just giving an example. The issue of the word determine. I'll give you an example. Like in the GBA Act of 2002, Parliament has already given the Minister of Finance how to pay, what to pay, let him determine that. We have done that. This is not the first time.
Trying to say already, it's true. Let's not deny that. You have trusted the minister to make a determination. Instead of paying 1,000, he can pay 2,000.
Exactly.
So he can pay 3,000. There is no limit you have given him.
Yes.
He's telling you, so far we can trust that. Why do we have a trust against mistrust? I see something else. Yes, let's allow the honorable minister.
Honorable Speaker, I think in law making or regulation making, flexibility must be accommodated at some point, because no two situations are the same. We're talking about a global market here. What prevails in Europe, what prevails in America, what prevails in Asia, what prevails in the Gambia or in Africa, sometimes they do differ. Unless you allow some flexibility to respond to specific issues, then you cannot draft specific regulation to address that. The minister is acting on trust, and those trusts will be exercised in the interest of Gambians. If you close his hands to exercise such flexibility when they are required, then I don't think we will be able to respond to global incidences or global happening. This is the things that we just need to accommodate, for which I just wanted to call your attention. The minister flexibility will be exercised in the best interest of Gambians, and that's very, very important.
Say the minister, it does not mean the minister as a person. If the minister has a strong technical backup, professionals. There are more facts coming up again. You said your final one.
In fact, there's a serious one here. There's a very serious one. If you go with this,
you just told me that your last one now.
no, I read something very serious. Let me explain.
All right.
Minister, these other issues are not relevant. The minister may grant a license to permit the deployment of a worker. One.
So,
Yes, the minister may grant a license to permit a deployment of a worker to a country with which the Gambia does not have a bilateral labor agreement with. We should not allow that. Anywhere our people are going, there must be an agreement with the country.
You see, the purpose of this particular amendment is to address that. What we are saying is that there is no need for this amendment. No, what he is saying is, in those countries, there are Gambians working there. What is protecting? What is protecting them? Yeah? What I'm saying is in particular areas, what is protecting them? You are a Gambian, you are working there, you have what law is going to protect you? Do you know what we are saying is, the concern of the ministry is, for those Gambians who are working in those areas where we don't have labor relationship with, what will we do to make sure that at least they can benefit from some protection? That's the purpose of this one. And what they are suggesting is, those things can be done through licensing agencies. And doing those applications, when they make those applications, there are a lot of information and data that will be researched for the ministry and the department to know what is there, what is happening, and what are the conditions of the licensing. Because they all have different licensings and different regulations or whatever on them. So to amend those things, it means you are going to look at each situation on its own merit. And the biggest question I have is, you see, this is all, what I want to appeal is, let's believe that everybody is good except one is proven bad. No, if we understand that, we will have no problems. If I trust myself that I am good, I trust him that he is good until he is proven otherwise. But if we begin to speculate on those things, we will have problems. Yes, honorable member for nominated member, Kera.
I think a fundamental error many members are making, they are not looking at the substantive clause which we seek to amend, which is clause 24 of the Labour Act. If you look at clause 24 of the Labour Act, basically it's about recruitment of Gambians to countries where we have bilateral agreements. So it means that is the only thing clause section 24 is what covering. Now what the minister seeks to do is to amend that, so that we can have a leeway to send Gambians to countries where we do not have bilateral agreements with. So now everything that is stipulated in this amendment is to say that the minister can only do that by using this particular act, the regulation, and in extreme cases, he can use his own discretion. And that discretion in any way cannot be done outside the confines of the law. And Parliament have done this many times. So I don't know why this one is being treated separately. We are all at the honorable member for Central Body to look at clause 24 of the Labour Act. If you read clause 24 of the Labour Act, this particular amendment would not be a problem.
Clause 24 of the Labour Act only deals with countries that we have labour agreements with. Only. So they are now, the amendment is not to change that. The amendment is to make another one, include another one. And this one is to address those that we don't have labour agreements with.
Mr. Chairman. Chair.
Yes, Honorable.
Certainly, I think I've been following you. You've really listened to a lot of concerns raised. At a point, I think Parliament must forge ahead and make a decision. It's very simple. We have to de-emphasize our political lenses and look at the bigger picture it's time to address. We say there's a lacuna in the Act, whereby the previous Act is restrictive based on the only country that we have existing bilateral agreement with. But in case we don't have now, what other avenue? This bill sought to address that. So therefore, and Gambians are going there. So basically, the bigger picture here, whether the reasons are the bill, that have been debated and agreed. We agree that it's a very good bill. It's addressing a lot of lacunas. So when you come here again, I don't know what is the problem about saying that the minister may determine as set out in the regulations. So basically, I think we have really for the head.
Avoid on specific issues like this for us all to reach consensus. Because for me, I think we are all on the same boat. Just that our views are different on how we understand and see things. But when we talk and discuss, for the common man that we serve, I think we will come to an agreement. That was the purpose. Because we have talked and talked on this particular issue, just to get more information on it and be able to educate each other on whatever concerns we have. When is your tag is always up? How many times? All right, let's listen one time. Yes, all right.
Let's agree, Chair, let's agree that we leave it as it is. And we move to page 3, A, 2A. No, we've agreed. We've agreed.
Honorable members, please. I will still my proposition. Somebody are saying no. If you just hold on. Just hold on. Your concern is if we move there, we are forgetting the first one. We are not forgetting it. If you want to come back on it, we will give you time to come back. Let's hear him also.
Well, just 2A, when I read it, I believe what we are going to say is security of workers, rather than security of a worker. You mean with the caption? Yes, 2A, page 3. Adequate measures are in place to safeguard the rights, welfare, and security of workers.
No, read 2 first.
2. Without prejudice to section 1, the minister may grant a lancing where he or she is satisfied that A, adequate measures are in place to safeguard the rights, welfare, and security of workers. That's what I think they want to say.
If you say it this way, it means in a worker, it can apply to many workers. Legal people? Legal people?
It's fine.
Legal people, they are saying it's fine as it is. All right. All right. Now you are saying something, honorable member for Kiang West.
No, I wasn't. I was saying let's finish this one. We vote on that and we move on, rather than going to another clause again. But
okay, so it's 3. It's only various parts of the 3. Short parts of 3.
So that's okay.
Do you have any other thing?
No.
Or you are concerned that we don't move until
yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yes, honorable.
I hear it from nominated member. And he said the only amendment is about to minister to have the lancing to deploy. Deployment is my concern to the countries.
It's not the only amendment. The amendment, proposed amendment is an inclusion.
Yes.
What is in the principal act is already there. They are not taking anything on that. They are now proposing that this be added to it.
Now, my fear now is, now countries that you do not have bilateral agreement with, now you start deploying your people. In case of any eventualities, where are you going to bank on? No, I'm asking. No, but no.
You are dealing with countries that you don't have labor agreements with, not diplomatic, but labor agreements. Huh? You don't have diplomatic relations with some countries, but yet you don't have labor agreements. So they are dealing with that. So the diplomatic thing is there. But what they are saying is now, the people who do it now, they are issued license. They are usually the issuance of license is by state authorities. So you have an opportunity. Somebody wants to take your worker away. You now have an opportunity to dialogue through what they have issued, to see what are the contracts, what are the agreements, and all what is there. And depending on the situation and the particular situation, you make a determination. Yes, Honorable Minister.
Tell the member address his concern.
Honorable Member for...
Yes. Right now, for those that we have bilateral labor agreements, then you also issue a license. Now, in the absence of a bilateral labor agreement, we cannot even issue a license. You are not authorized to issue a license. So we have, this paper is introducing a licensing regime that provide you that safeguard and protection of Gambian workers in those jurisdictions that we don't have agreement. In the absence of that, as a minister or as authority, we cannot issue any license. We cannot also protect any worker there because we don't have anything to fall back on. So having this is an addition. The default position is that I wish we have bilateral agreement with everybody. But in the absence of that, are we saying Gambians, because we don't have that agreement, they should not go and work? They are there already anyway. So it's an incremental until we get there.
Honorable member, you see, this is what I'm telling you. Don't talk to members, even whatever they are doing. If they are shouting, you are doing worse than them. No, if you are disturbed, call my attention. It's not for you. Please. Honorable members, yes, honorable member for Lower Florida.
I think, Honorable Chair, with due respect, I just want the minister, and this is a big concern to Gambians. For example, that where we don't have bilateral, if there is a problem, who do our government deal with directly? No, this is not sufficient to convince us. No, look, if you are convinced, I'm not convinced. So
the problem here is, already you don't have bilateral labor agreements with a lot of states. And still you have Gambian workers there. What do you do with them? What are you doing for them? Now this one seeks to put that danger a little bit down. Members.
It was very tough for me, but my concern is, because sometimes you see Gambians in other countries that we don't have bilateral, they are in trouble. You cannot call state-to-state engagement to address their affair. And if you want to put this thing, it's middlemen who will just come with this bilateral. So we want that wherever our people are, our state, the government, would call government to government for them to, if that is not there, this is not, I don't think this is there.
You are just, I want to believe that you are able to be prejudiced. You are not listening to the content and intent of the bill. No, I'm not listening. Just now, hold on. Don't look at them, look at me. Here we have already got a labor bill. And in that labor bill, it only deals with countries we have labor agreements with. But we are aware, please call it. But currently, in those countries that we don't have labor agreement with, Gambians are working there. What is government asking? What is government doing to protect them? No labor agreements, nothing whatsoever, no means to see how to solve their problem. Now, this one is telling you, people who go there to work are taken by licensed authorities, issued by states. Through that, you can have a mechanism of trying to regulate what is happening to our people. In the absence of that, and then you don't still have that labor agreement, you are leaving your people to mercy, and the people will still go. It becomes a responsive and a positive government overlooks at things ahead and see what they can do to allay the sufferings of our people outside our jurisdiction. And that's the intent. Yes, that's the intent. It's as bad as it is now. If it is costing 10,000, we want it to cost 5,000. Is that bad? I think, honorable members, we can proceed. May I welcome the honorable minority leader. Actually, he has taken permission. He took permission to do a few things. Honorable members, Yes, what do you want to find? Honorable members, yes, clerk, may we proceed?
Clause 3, insertion of a new section 24A.
It is proposed that clause 3, insertion of a new section 24A, stand part of the bill. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. I think we have only 3 clauses to the bill, and we have come to the end of the Committee of the Whole Assembly, so we will now go to resume the Assembly. Honorable members, the Assembly now resumes. May I now call Honorable Minister to report to the Assembly what transpired at the Committee of Supply. Honorable Minister.
Honorable Speaker, I report that the bill entitled the Labour Amendment Bill 2026 have gone through the Committee of the Whole Assembly with amendment, and that the report of the Committee of the Whole Assembly on the Labour Amendment Bill 2020 without amendment, and that the report of the Committee of the Whole Assembly on the Labour Amendment Bill 2026 be adopted.
Honorable members, I now put the question that the report of the Committee of the Whole Assembly on the Labour Amendment Bill 2026 be adopted without amendments. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. Honorable members, in accordance with Order 73.4 of our standing orders, the bill is hereby referred to the Assembly Business Committee for scheduling of the third reading. However, before this date, the Office of the Honorable Minister and the Office of the Clerk is hereby urged to comply with Standing Order 73 sub 5 to ensure that the amended version of the bill is printed and circulated to members in advance. Thank you very much. Honorable Minister, thank you very much. We are grateful. All right, Clerk, may we proceed?
Thank you. Order 73. Consideration stage. Consideration stage of the Gambia Immigration Bill 2026 by the Honorable Minister for Interior.
Honorable members, you recall that after the second reading stage, the bill automatically stood referred to the ABC. Therefore, the bill is appointed today for consideration stage in accordance with Order 73 of our standing orders. During the consideration stage, members shall have the opportunity to give detailed consideration and scrutiny to every clause and schedule in the bill. This stage also provides the first opportunity for amendments to the bill to be debated and voted on. I will now therefore resolve the Assembly into the Committee of the Whole Assembly to give consideration to the bill entitled the Gambia Immigration Bill 2026. Honorable Minister, you are invited to take your seat. The Assembly is now resolved into the Committee of the Whole Assembly.
I just have an observation. Before, no, wait. Yes, my observation is, while you said that we're going to consider this bill part by part, you said the Assembly. Listen. Oh.
Honorable, you are quoting me.
Yes.
I never said that.
No, when you are saying that the Assembly will now, look at what we are reading. That dissolve into committee and we will deal it close, part by part, or close by close. My
Honorable,
yes,
I said in my speech that the Assembly will now go into the Committee of the Whole Assembly to consider the Gambia Immigration Bill 2026, clause by clause. I never talked about part by part. Don't misquote me. Honorable, take your seat. Honorable, take your seat. I know probably, Honorable, you want to say something. You wait until that time you say it. Don't make allegations. Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker. Honorable members, we are now Honorable Speaker. Session. Honorable, before what I want to do is, all other discussions on the bill be done at the Committee of the Whole Supply. Let's do that. It's going to complicate issues. Yes, Honorable Majority Leader.
I'm saying you are very much in line. When we get to the floor of the House, it depends on the plenary now to decide if they are going to consider it part by part or clause by clause. But what you have communicated, you are in line. I agree 100%. But when we get to the floor now, decision lies for the plenary now. Thank you.
No, I want to avoid misquotations. Honorable Member for Lower Flood West. I want to believe that he has something in mind to do, and then he wants to cut it down on me to be able to do it. And I will not take that. Please, you wait until that decision is now going to be at the floor. And whatever decisions we make here is usually at what you agree on. So there is no need.
Yes, Speaker, I withdraw for misquoting you.
So, honorable members, the Assembly is now dropped into the Committee of the Whole Assembly. Yes, honorable members, we now resume the Committee of the Whole Assembly. You know, honorable members, what I want to say first is, now is at the committee stage. We want everybody to come through the main door, not jumping through the window. Please. Now the Assembly will now go into the Committee of the Whole Assembly to consider the bill, clause by clause or part by part. That is to be determined by honorable members. Speaker. What? Killer. Honorable Speaker, I'm proposing that we consider the bill part by part. It has gone through committee work and vigorous job was done. So, for Yanija, huh?
I think I will support the proposal from the honorable nominated member, because since the bill, I just have want to emphasize on this fact. Since it allow me now, you know what I'm coming to say. Since the bill was tabled here and the first reading was done, and even the second reading debate was suspended, and personally I took it upon myself to go through it, to offer myself video, and I think it's very for the interest of time, we do it part by part. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Speaker, I think we are in agreement. Let's do it, and we make sure we do the needful as soon as possible. Part by part, yeah, part by part.
Honorable Member for Sabak Sengal.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I also want to submit that we consider the bill part by part.
Is to consider the bill part by part. This is mine.
Yes.
You are. Yes. Okay.
Honorable Chair.
Honorable members, we have challenges. You know, we observe that the parts, they are wrong, they are not well done. Even the clauses themselves are not in order. So that's what we try to see and how we can sort it out. But what we probably will do is we will give chance to members to, when we talk about one part,